Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween.
Broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command. Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 48 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast Halloween special. Michael and Martin are on once again to just chat and enjoy our favourite genre and talk about whatever's going on in the world. How are you, Martin?
By the gods of science fiction.
Now, I'll explain that I actually got Martin this week as a favour to me, which I appreciate. Excuse me. Martin's never seen Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And the thing is about what's different about this film, and we're going to review it this week, is that it's very different. It is the most unique Halloween film, as it's a completely different story. I personally prefer this to the Michael Myers stories myself. I don't mind the Michael Myers stories, but this is more science fiction-y than horror-based. There is a science fiction and fantasy element in this as well. So we're going to have a chat about that. So before we actually go on to that, let's first of all hear, how are you, Martin? Because you're in the midst of doing stuff at the moment, aren't you?
I'm moving house. I made a video on YouTube.
Oh, did you? When did you post that?
Yes, explaining why I've not been able to do any live shows and videos, yes.
Oh, okay. So obviously people want to... Yeah, that's good.
I did a small video explaining him upstairs.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean...
By the gods of science fiction, I curse thee.
Well,
I curse thee by the gods of science fiction.
You know what happened with my nutty neighbour, don't you? I had a nutty neighbour once.
Yes.
Did I tell you what happened with her?
No, what happened?
Oh, right, okay. Well, this is when I lived in London, in sort of near Putney Way, and I lived...
London, typical, yes.
Yeah, well, I miss it. I wish I was back up there in many ways. And I lived at the time with my mum, and we had we lived in a conversion house, so we lived on the top floor, and this this Polish lady moved in about 5 years before. She was really weird, really odd. And I, as people will know, I'm a big fan of prank calls and stuff, and I've got a collection of 12,000 prank calls from around the world. Even back then, this is about 20 years ago, I used to play artists known as the Jerky Boys. Very funny. They're the people that really got me into prank calls. And she started to think that I was bugging her phone, listening to her phone calls, and she actually thought I was lusting after her. This woman was in her 40s at the time. I was obviously about 18, 20 or so. I was quite young. And she was a lunatic. She was crazy.
Can I just say it?
What? She
was a MILF.
No, she was not a MILF. She was more like ugly duckling ilf. I don't know.
Right, okay.
She was ugly. She had a mopped head. She had a Beatles haircut. And she, hello, I'm from a poor land. And she used to talk like that. And one day I was going to work and went past her, because obviously she's in the middle at the top. She had to go through a communal hallway. Came out the... actually, this was the second time. Well, I don't know which way around it was. And she got a bucket of water and threw it over my head as I was walking out the house.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. I swear.
What, you were going out through the door, just closing the main door?
Yeah, and she got a bucket of water and threw it on my head. And then
a load of water just dropped on top.
Yeah. She said, "You're go away, go away, go away." And she obviously thought I was. I don't know what she thought. She was a complete loon. She really was. I mean, the stories I could tell you about this lunatic. We actually on the old podcast, which I used to co-host with some friends in America, we used to read some of her letters that she used to accuse us of doing at some point. And I think obviously this is not quite a sci-fi, but it was like something out of a sci-fi. It was like something out of Halloween. She was a loon. And then she did it twice. So once I've just started dating my then future wife. Yes. And, we sort of had an evening and drove home. I got back 11 o'clock at night and I saw her as I was driving up the corner. You can see the house is on the corner and you can see her on her balcony on the middle. Was
it like that moment that TV series, Hammer House of Horror?
Oh, it was. It was like, it was. Or Psycho or something. And she tried it again. The second time she missed me, luckily. Innie and I had to go to the Citizens Advice Bureau about it. And she said they said basically that because she hasn't physically hurt you, we can't really do much about it. They just gave me advice.
Threw a bucket of water on you?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, once she missed, once she got me. I was going to work, and she said, "Go away with your thoughts. Go away with your thoughts." She was a loon. She's still there. Obviously, I won't give any information about her on here, but she's still there. You can still find her online, and she is a sandwich short of a picnic, as we used to say. She was a complete loon. Right. So I've had a bad experience with neighbours. Yours also involved water, but not on the personal
he did something else actually.
What's that?
He threw a load of cooking oil out of the window.
Why?
I don't know. One day I'd come back and there were all this like stuff on the steps on the main entrance, and so I thought, oh God, what's he done now? So obviously he'd been throwing it out. So he didn't want to block the pipes up upstairs.
Yeah.
So he decided to throw it out a window. And obviously I phoned housing. I said, look, it's cooking oil. Well, housing officer come round. She said it was alcohol, so I showed her pictures.
Right.
And there was a footprint in it. I said, you're telling me that's alcohol? I said, yeah. And she was like, she didn't want to deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
I said, there's a bloody footprint. I said, alcohol evaporates.
Yeah.
She said, well, we are doing things.
Oh, they fobbed you off. They fobbed you off.
Yes, so that's it. It's but I mean, it's been all right for the last month or so. But it's I can't be bothered now.
I got fobbed off as well today, very badly. I've got a BMW and the rear view mirror. I don't know if you they're tacked to windscreen in this really weird way of doing it, and it broke off. So I had to get a new one. It's been hanging off since February, and I went to this place. It's a BMW store in Portsmouth. It's one of the big ones. I won't give the name out. And they said it's going to cost me 700 quid. 700 quid.
What? So can't you just use super
glue? Which I tried. I actually tried, and every time I tried Gorilla Glue, I tried everything, and everything wouldn't stay on. And then I went in today to collect. Oh, it's all done, Mr. Bohr. Thank you. Right, that's 1,200 quid. 1,200 quid for a. That's the price of a holiday.
Well, it is. Well, so for a bloody wing mirror.
They said that they couldn't put the old bit on because it's got glue on it from when I tried to stick it. So I said, look, you told me it's going to be 700 quid. You've told me incorrect information. If you'd told me it's going to be 1,200 quid, I would have looked elsewhere. So I reluctantly paid, but we're obviously going to make a complaint to this company because they, we could kick up a fuss and stuff like that because, 700 quid is a lot of money as it is.
Of course it is.
But 1,200 quid for a rear view mirror. A rear view mirror. That's the price of a cheap car, that is.
Well, it is. You can get yourself an electric bike with that.
Yeah,
as well.
I know. So I was being pissed off. So basically, you being fobbed off with this person with the cooking oil, I was also fobbed off with it. So, it's what people are like. That's why you're going to be.
I had to go to legal action. I had to get a solicitor.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous. I had to do that.
And so the minute that happened, the legal stuff, everything changed.
Yeah, well, that's it. We're going to start with paperwork first. But if they start saying, "Oh, well, that's what it costs," then there are ways to make their lives a misery. So,
well, they went above her. You say they went above the housing officers,
right?
So then suddenly everything was resolved. It was.
Yeah. I think we'll get. I'll be very surprised if we don't get at least some of that money back because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We wouldn't. I'm absolutely pissed off as well. So
at least you didn't use gaffer tape.
No, well, actually, in the end, I tried that just like a temporary thing. Is if you do that when you go on the motorway because it shakes, it wobbles, so you can't see because of the vibration as you're going faster. So never mind. So it's not been a good week financially for us, but in the end, it's one of those things with cars. It's a good thing if you don't drive. In some ways, cars can be a major pain in the arse as well. All right. Anything else before we go to the news?
No. I think that's it. Really, I think that's I think that's our week.
Yeah, that's our week. And
I could do that in the Sci-Fi news, actually.
All right, let's
actually, I was going to mention it now, but no, I could save it.
Okay, let's go in the jingle, and then let's go into your piece of news first. Here we go.
Working.
So the Sci-Fi news. Okay, what you got?
Well, that was quick.
Oh no, well, yeah, but I edited it.
I would expect.
All right. There's a bit of an insight here. There's a bit. We do the editing. We do sort of like we pause, and then we edit in the jingle. But although you've just heard the jingle, between me sort of saying let's hit the jingle and then saying what have we got, it was about half a second. And I think
Well,
it
at
was a
least you're not going to yawn this week.
bit. I've still got this cough though. I keep coughing today, so you might hear a bit of
I
coughing.
better not catch COVID down.
No, you got to get it from Skype. Although apparently they said that if you have had COVID, they're saying that if the chances of you getting it again now are increasingly more likely. Apparently
it's just the end.
the antibodies apparently don't stay in the system that long. So I reckon that even if you get a jab, you'll probably be getting a jab every 6 months when they've got the bloody thing. Oh, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Christ's sake. Anyway, what's this news you got?
Right, they found water on the moon.
Yes, I heard about that. But did they report that years ago? I heard about water on the moon.
Well, I did.
About 20 years ago. It was about 20 years ago.
The new 10, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not new. So
But they've confirmed it's all over the moon now. It's molecularly in the lunar dust and.
So is it like ice or something?
It, yeah.
But I assume it'd be cold, so it'd be ice. I assume. Wouldn't it have radiation in it or stuff like that?
Well, it's something to do with shadows or something and where sun's been. That's all the thing about it. It was quite interesting.
Right, yeah. I mean, does the moon, like planets, have like an equator, like a warmer bit and a colder bit? Or is it all the same temperature?
There's quite a lot happens on the moon, like solar waves and solar wind and...
Yeah. But obviously,
I mean, it's just beamed down millions of tons of radiation. I mean, that helium freeze up there, that power source, is full of it everywhere.
Which one?
Helium 3.
Oh, I think it said Alien 3. Helium 3, yeah.
A spoonful can power a reactor, apparently.
So, do you think in the future that's something that they could maybe mine
they're going in 2024. They're going in 4 years' time.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I always say that they're going to do it. I hope it happens. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, I think
they'll probably have cutbacks.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Especially, I don't know if Trump is proposed.
I actually own 2 acres on the moon as well. I'm being serious.
I remember that you could buy bits, and it's technically legally yours. I remember that. No, I remember.
Spoil it, didn't you?
No. I think I had the same thing at some point. There was something where you can buy a tiny, not tiny, but relatively small area, and you can pay like 50 quid or something. And if ever they did something,
it was £10 an acre.
I can't remember how much.
From W.H. Smith, and I did own an acre on Mars as well.
Did you? So how come you're saying that as if you're not anymore? You said did.
Well, because I can't find the bloody certificates. I lost them years ago.
But what if they build buildings in 200 years' time? The generations of the Fowler family, they might be looking at a huge ton of money.
I'll go online and try and contact the company who was selling it.
Yeah.
I remember a woman in W.H. Smith, she said it's real, said it was backed by the American government.
All right, okay, cool.
So apparently I'm a landowner.
Well, there we are. You see, you never know what they could be doing in the future.
I don't know what part. I think I don't know what it was. I bought it in a crater of family. I saw a picture of it. I don't know where it was, but it had a name, and
I'm surprised.
I own 2 acres of the moon. Yeah,
I'm surprised they haven't really gone back to the moon before now. Quite frankly, I mean, it's
aliens.
Yeah, aliens.
Well, apparently aliens lived there, and they told us to fuck off. So
Moonbase Alpha. There's not a secret Moonbase Alpha, then, is there? Kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's an alien human. It's all to do with interstellar war, where they're kidnapping humans and taking them off, and the fight was. I watched this alien invasion thing about this guy who served in a secret platoon who fought on Mars against aliens, but then he woke up in bed.
There's a film which has like Germans on the moon.
Oh no, God!
What's that? Iron Sky. You've seen it?
Yeah, have you seen sequel?
I know. I only saw the first one.
Yeah, don't bother with sequel.
Well, did you like the first one?
Yeah, I did. I've got a fascination.
I thought that was quite good. I actually thought it was an interesting twist.
I did.
Oh, mate.
But it's the second one's terrible.
Yeah, well,
no. Apparently, in the world of conspiracies and all that, there's apparently this Marine guy. I saw his video on YouTube. Apparently, when he went to bed as a kid, they came and took him away, and he grew up on Mars, and he fought in big interstellar wars for years with loads of other ground pounders, and then he woke up. Then they put him back in his body, and he was still a kid.
Oh God! There's a lot of.
that never happened to me, did it?
No. I mean, no, I didn't have any exciting childhood either. I used to catch a bus. So I used to one of my highlights was the route masters and running towards it, and then grabbing the pole and jumping onto the bus while it was still moving. That was my highlight of my childhood.
Spider-Man. That is so Spider-Man. Like, did you spin round like the pole and fly down the centre of the bus and just land?
No, I just got on and then I felt smug, and then the bus conductor would give me a dirty look.
Oh, right.
Not quite as exciting. And then he charged me 15p for the bus fare, and then I'd only sort of like go for about 3 stops, and I would have lost my 15p. Right, what else have you got?
I've got Millennium's coming back, Lance Henriksen.
Oh, okay. I never saw it originally.
I didn't really watch that. I've seen it.
I know of Lance Henriksen, obviously, from things like Alien and Close Encounters.
From what I read. He teamed up with it. It came from. It's to do with Chris Carter.
Wasn't it X-Files? Something to do with X-Files?
It spun off from the X-Files.
Yeah. I've still not seen all the X-Files. I've only ever seen the first 3 seasons. I mean, have you seen the whole of the X-Files?
I've seen most of it. I've got season 11.
I find it quite hard to get through, actually, X-Files.
Yeah, I got bored.
I got bored of it as well. I've tried twice to watch it, and I've only ever got to about season 3, and then I just sort of like got into something else and then forgotten about it. Yeah. Twice it's happened to me.
I like the one-off stories, really.
Yeah, I it's a good series. But go on about Millennium. So Millennium's coming back, is it?
Yeah, I only saw a couple of episodes.
I never saw any of that.
He teams up with Mulder and Scully and they're being attacked by zombies, but they have to put this like folded up piece of paper in their mouths and they all vaporise.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was sort of interesting. He works for something called the Millennium Foundation, and there's some event coming and they're sort of prepared. Is
it something that's mentioned often in the X-Files? It's like their sort of version of Starfleet or something?
I don't remember.
No,
really.
I don't remember either.
I know they teamed up a couple of times.
Yeah. I don't know. I like I said, I've just never. The thing is, I like the X-Files, sort of, but I don't know. I'd like to see it, but it's a lot of episodes. I just can't be bothered. I'd rather just sort of like just watch something else. I don't know. I will watch it though. I mean, I have to do a review of the X-Files at some point.
Oh no, he's on about turning Millennium TV series into movies.
Oh, okay. But mind you, Lance Henriksen, if he's in it, he must be pretty old by now.
Well, that's what I thought. Must be 80.
I was going to say he must be ancient now. He must be like he must be walking around with his Zimmer frame or something. I mean, he looked really old in the Alien versus Predator, didn't he? He was getting on a bit then, and that was about 10, 15 years ago as well. So I mean, I don't know. Actually, that was about 10 years ago. 10 years.
And Candyman reboot as well.
Well, Tony Todd was in the original Candyman. I was all right. I saw the first Candyman. I wasn't blown away by it. It was all right. It was a very take it or leave it film. But they're redoing that. Okay. Mind you, when you said Candyman, I thought of Doctor Who, and obviously it's not.
And we've got Ben Affleck returning as Batman.
Ben Affleck as Batman. So
the Justice League Batman.
Okay, I've not seen that. Okay, so that's good.
Right, we won't go there.
No, but no. It's half and half. Do you like this actor? Is he good? Was he good as Batman?
Yeah, I think he's my favourite Batman. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Oh, so is it like a TV series or a film or what?
Well, he's the Batman that versus Superman. Him.
Oh God! Well, let's not mention that then. I wasn't a big fan of that film. And I even said to somebody, I said, oh, my mate, he's a big fan of Batman versus Superman. I went, oh, we didn't like it. Like we like most things, don't we? This is why I think that today's episode, which the film we're going to focus on, because you've not said a word yet, whether you liked it or loathed it, whatever.
By the God.
I'm looking forward to it. Because I said to Martin before we started recording, I said, don't tell me. You said that you have already said that that's an hour and 38 minutes you're never going to get back again. But apart from that, that's all you've said. Yes. But going back to Batman versus Superman, so the guy who's in that Batman, he's going to be back in a film version, is he, or a TV series?
Well, he's coming back. They're going to do some adventures with him, yeah.
Okay, well, good. Okay.
I don't think they're going to the cinema. They're going on that new screening streaming service run by Warner Brothers. I forgot what it's called.
I don't know.
Because they made a big thing about the revamped Justice League movie with the missing bits that have been added now for the full story.
Right.
So he's come back for some reshoots apparently, and So I think they've got him for a couple of movies to play like older Batman.
Okay. Well, I'm
Which
sorry.
I think's alright, yeah.
But if you like him, then obviously you'll be watching because you liked him in that other version. So yeah.
Cool. I've got some Picard news.
Oh, is there any news? They're not doing anything at the moment. But
Yeah,
go on.
some Picard. Star Trek Picard gets awesome prequel focusing on Will Riker and Deanna Troi.
Oh, it was a comic, wasn't it, or something? I saw something on Trek News or something. It was I saw an image. It had Riker and Troy in the Picard uniforms on the Titan or something. Is that right? You're talking about?
Yeah, the new prequel booked out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I saw
Yep.
something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Good. I think that's a lot of people want to sort of see it because obviously it'll be in between Nemesis and Picard, and I think it's before they had kids.
It's when he has that lunar cloth starship, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Titan.
yeah, the Titan. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Brilliant. I'm just looking for news my end. Myself. What did I see? Oh, did you hear about the Star Trek stamps in the UK?
Yes.
Which I think is quite cool. It's amazing. It's the main stars of Star Trek, and then it's all the British actors who have been in their respective characters, like Marina Sirtis, Dominic Keating, and a few others as well. So yeah, it's cool. I think that's great. I mean, they've done the Doctor Who ones before. I don't know why they do Star Trek at the moment, but for some reason they're doing it. So I might get them just to have as a copy to keep. What else you got? That's it. Yeah, that's all I've got as well. I haven't got a lot of news this week. But yeah, as you said, the next look at the thing you talked about. The next Star Trek Picard is a prequel set in the USS Titan with Riker and Troy, called The Dark Veil. So that sounds good. Into January 2021. Right, shall we go into what I think is going to prove to be a
The
very...
new Simon Pegg series starts this week.
Oh, what's that about?
He's the Ghost Hunter and Nick Frost. It's like...
Oh, they're band together again, are they? They're always,
Yeah.
they are very good together, those two.
Yeah, it starts on Amazon this week. On The Mandalorian is out.
That's
Thursday.
out on... Oh, it's Friday, isn't it? Or maybe
Is
it's...
it Friday? Well,
I think it's the 30th. Yeah. Now, are you going to do... Last year, I think when you saw them, you said that you wanted to wait until you had a few because the episodes were too short.
Well, there was at the beginning, it was weird, wasn't it? Because, like, first couple were like...
Well, about
half
20
an
minutes,
hour,
yeah. They
wasn't
were about 25
And then
minutes.
suddenly they started expanding to 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the last two were
Later on.
good length each, but the first few they were very strange in the lengths. And you
Yeah,
said,
that's what I mean, yeah.
so I think what we'll do is when you find out the length of the episode, if it's like a really short thing, I mean, I don't think I can wait, so I'll probably see it. But then if I do, I won't say to you what I saw if you don't want spoilers.
Well, I'll assume both of them by end of next week. So
So that's what I'm saying. You're not going to sort of like let them
no,
build up.
it's like with Discovery. I think there's no point reviewing the first episode. Because
Now,
you're not getting much.
No,
Get part two
no.
in, and then you get a bit of a picture.
Now, obviously, you reviewed this. I did this with you, although my Skype made me look like I was in a transporter buffer.
Yeah.
Last week, so we haven't mentioned it on the podcast yet. Episode 2. Very quickly, what did you think about it? Did you like it?
I thought I agree with what you said. I think episode 2 should have been episode 1.
Yeah, they should have done it all around, and then it should have focused. But I liked it a lot. I mean, a lot of people saying, how come the Discovery wasn't so badly damaged when it crash landed in the ice? I can understand that, but who cares? I mean,
Yeah, but it used tractor beams to slow it.
yeah, it did, but it said that apparently the shields weren't on at that point, and it hit ice, but then there might be rock under. You know, actually, it was Samuel Cockins who was going this on Trek Yards. They spent a special episode just ripping off exactly why they thought it was such a bad. I was actually indifferent about it. I mean, I'm glad that at the end it was back in space. And next week they're going to Earth, so that's going to be really interesting. I think they're
They're going to Earth this
yeah,
week?
yeah, they're going to Earth this week. I think.
Right.
Well, that's going to be exciting, isn't it? Earth that's never seen Starfleet. Well, whatever's left of Starfleet. But yeah, as far as I know, they're going to Earth this week, which will be a really exciting.
I think Control's alive.
I don't know.
I think it's
there is
inside
something more going
her
on
with the implants. I think it's inside her.
Yeah, well, I said that to you. I think that
Yeah.
it's a bit obvious though if it is, but
Yeah, it's just when she has them like moments, you don't know who she is.
well,
like,
there is a clue at the beginning of episode 2 when they're just waking up from being unconscious from going through the wormhole. You see these sort of molecular sort of dust floating on the floor right near Saru as he's waking up. And that looked a bit like the elements of like the molecular parts of
Yeah,
control.
the nanites, yeah.
So could it be that when they collapsed and she hit the ground or something, that's part of it
Yeah,
entered
one
her?
got out, a little bit got
Well,
out. And
I don't know. Nobody else seemed to spot that apart from me. I've seen it twice now.
oh,
So, not just being observant. So it could be complete bullshit.
by the gods of science fiction.
Oh my god, is that going to be like the hashtag for the podcast? By the gods.
Of science fiction.
Yeah, by the gods of science. That's a bit of
I
a long
know
hashtag.
you made me into this today after what you made me sit through for 1 hour.
And 38 minutes.
38 minutes, yeah.
Well,
Now
shall
you've decided.
we go into the focus of the week and hear all your? I'm approaching this with a sense of dread. Let's hit the jingle, and I can't wait to hear your opinion. Here we
Yeah,
go.
go on.
Here's the jingle.
It's the Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
Right, Martin. There's a film which I saw many a year ago. I've loved it. You've never seen it, and I got you to watch it, which you very kindly did in your precious time, especially when you move in for the podcast. That's what I call dedication, so I appreciate that. I might even have to watch another Avengers film as a repayment for you. Martin, what did you think of Halloween 3, Season of the
By
Witch?
the gods of science fiction.
Yes?
Oh my god, I didn't know what to make of it.
Really?
It was absolutely fucking awful. It was.
What? It was a classic!
It was just terrible, man. It
Oh,
was
you're joking.
absolutely awful. It was. It just ripped off from so many different science fiction stories. What, them androids were shit. I mean, what, the so-called cheap men in black robots?
Yeah, but now
But there was a redeeming
Oh, and-
quality in the film. There was one thing it had me. It actually got me a bit scared of it, actually.
Okay, well that's interesting. What got you scared?
Well, it was the old man from RoboCop, wasn't it?
Yeah, Cochrane. Yeah, I know. He was good. He was very good.
He were best thing, and if he wasn't that sunk us.
But what about the idea of it wanting to get revenge and he wanted to kill all the kids by creating this masks with these and it was like a Irish pagan festival of
What you mean? Well, he nicked the stone from Stonehenge.
yeah,
snicked it
and then
from
there's an element in the rocks which he
and then
puts in the
putting bits
masks.
of rock in it to bring the age of witchcraft back, but
Yeah.
he's using scientific
And
androids.
the trigger is the music of 8 More Days to Halloween and the flashing of the TV of the pumpkin. I loved it. I thought the film was
Yeah, no,
pretty
it
awesome.
was. I mean, it's the type of film you're coming from the pub on a Friday, Saturday night at, let's say 12. You've had a bit to drink, and that's on.
But if
for
you'd have
some
seen
reason,
that, if
that'd
you-
be on the BBC at about 12 o'clock.
If
and
you'd have
end
seen
up
that,
watching-
though, if you'd have seen it 25 years ago, you might have thought differently about it. I've seen that. I mean, it's
I probably would have done because that one I didn't know that was made in 1982. I looked into it.
yeah. I mean, first of all, I like the fact that it was completely, regardless of Michael Myers, there was no killer at all. It was a completely set. Although we do see Jamie Lee Curtis, as a bit of trivia here, there's a scene where the town says it's 6 o'clock, curfew, all residents should go home. That was Jamie Lee Curtis doing the town.
Yeah, you heard her voice in the background.
And then also
times.
you see clips of Halloween 1 in the film.
Yes.
Which I thought was also really quite cool. And he's sitting there, he's got the skull mask and he's tied up and he's waiting for 9 o'clock for the big giveaway. And all
Well, officially, I did some reading up on it on Wikipedia because I thought I'd better delve into this. I'm going to put 1 hour 38 minutes plus an extra half hour. Right, by the gods of science,
You never get that, never get that back again. Oh God! I thought you would like it. I thought you'd think it's quite a cool film.
Look, there were parts of it were all right. It were funny. I'm not denying it, but the story sucked. Right, it did. I'm not even going to go into ending yet.
The ending was brilliant. No, the ending was fantastic. I mean,
it met her. The drive to that town.
Yeah,
then
they started
as if that hadn't been done before.
And then they started shagging
the whole
shall we?
town that are involved in it.
And he was like in his 40s, and she was about 18 or something like that. Yeah.
And he said, "Do you want me to go sleep in cars?"
And she goes, "Well, where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?"
Oh, well, of course I'm going to jump into bed with you, aren't
I know, and I know,
Do you know what I mean?
I know it so well. I know exactly what they're going to say next.
Even though I met you yesterday.
I must have seen the film 50 times in my life. I love it. I really like it. No, I'm sorry.
1 hour 38 minutes.
Well, it's just a couple of days. It's just a couple of days.
By the
Halloween.
gods of science fiction.
Oh, okay. What else is there? So the androids don't speak. What about when the android pulls the drunk man's head off? No, I thought that was quite good. I like that scene.
I did like the bit when
the music was great. The music was creepy.
Oh, yeah, music.
The town was. I loved it. I loved the era. I thought that the cast was great. I thought Cocker was good as well, although he wasn't in it a lot. What about the test scene with the family when you find out what he's doing?
That was a bit naughty. That it was a bit nasty.
That was cool. That was awesome. Because that leads up to the whole rest of
and showed devoted to company.
And he's saying, like, well, how come we're not getting the pumpkins for next year? I always like to look ahead. And he said, Cockerell's not interested. And then the little boy sits there with his little pumpkin mask on, and then the flashing light. 8 more days to it. And he goes, it's time. All you lucky kids out there.
So, like, basically, all the kids across the world, like, weird things happen in these masks with these chips in. They've all mask,
with the flashing, the music and the flashing.
With the Stonehenge in it, and then this like mystic energy merges the technology. Yeah. Crushes their heads and loads of snakes.
It sort of devolves them into kind of like insects and flies and stuff come out of the egg.
So then they just try to attack. And then in comes the new age of witchcraft.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a conduit for a new age of witchcraft. Plus, it's also a sacrifice of the young for this new element.
Using technology.
Yeah, using technology. It's a mix of he actually says ancient technology in the film. He says Stone Age is actually ancient technology, referring to the fact that there's power.
I get that. That's true. They'd say that in ancient times, ley lines and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you have like the druids and all that sort of stuff. And so I just love the idea that something in obviously the modern age when that film was made was using ancient druids and ancient technology as a kind of witchcraft way of seeking revenge. Something about the film just mesmerised me. It cost
about £3-4 million to make, and it got panned when it came out, but it did take a profit. It made
they did make. I mean, after
it did make a profit, so it did sort of all right.
Well, after Halloween 3, they went back to the Michael Myers thing for Halloween 4, which
but what I read on Wikipedia, apparently Michael Myers was originally a one-off.
Yes, and it was so successful. It was so successful. They made the second one, and then after the second one, they thought they'd try a different idea with this one, Halloween 3. And then they changed their mind, and then Michael Myers came back for all the others.
Yeah, well, they brought him back because that one
wasn't so good. Well, it didn't make as much profit as the first two. So
it flopped.
Well, all right.
I didn't get as much as you want.
You said it. You just said it made a bit of money.
Well, it did make a bit of money, but it didn't make money like.
Yeah, so it was a comparative failure compared to the first two.
From what I read, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, the people.
Yeah.
They had this thing that is. Michael Myers. First it was Michael Myers, then like 2 years or a year later there'd be another Halloween movie. It'd be a bit weird, but it'd all be set in the same universe about different stories on Halloween.
Okay, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and I get that. I think that's a very clever idea.
That would have been a good idea.
You start universe building then, don't you?
Yeah, and then you could have had spin-offs for those respective stories.
Yeah,
you could have, exactly. Yeah, you could have done that. Yeah,
he said the guy. I mean, they did say about this film that it had potential. It could have gone into other things, from that story. I agree. I think it was. I just think. I don't know. I really tried to get into it. I really did, and I sat there and I was laughing. I mean, the bit where he's dying in hospital and that android thing comes in and just basically pulls his.
He sticks it. Yeah, you see him put his.
That freak.
He sort of opens his fingers up and he goes towards his eyeballs, and then you don't actually see it, and you just sort of like see him sort of dead with the mask next to him.
It's just that when you went to that town, it just got bloody stupid.
Santa Maria.
Because I've seen that stuff. Salem's Lot too.
Yeah. But this was made at a similar time. in its defence, it was made at a similar
Stepford
time.
Wives.
Yeah.
The town.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, as you say, Stepford Wives sort of thing. But then a lot of films of that era were also like that. You know, there's a lot of films that go to creepy.
You've got a good point.
If it was
It's
like a
the
modern film,
1980s.
it was 1982, and there's so many films. So that's just part of the time it was made. So that's
Yeah,
not
I
that's
did-
just, you know what I mean?
I did recognise the props though when they were in that secret installation.
Did you?
Yeah, I've seen the props in V and stuff like that. You know, the computer terminals.
Oh.
Not the bidding of the pro.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
recognise some of that.
I think the props. There was a scene with the computer where they were trying to make forged passports or passes into getting into the aliens, and they had the same computer there. Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yes.
What else is so? What did you think of the? I mean, obviously you had the girl that came back and she was an android, and this was one of the worst bits. Every time every time he thinks he's killed her, and then she's like pulled her arm off or something. And then another bit comes.
Do you know what made me laugh when he shut the fucking car door and her arm with her?
Yeah, and then it tries to strangle her.
I rewound that bit. I thought, are you for real?
And it was
But he
wrapped
shut
around
the
his
door
neck.
with her arm with
Yeah,
her.
and it's wrapped around his neck. Yeah, she was trying to strangle him. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that wasn't the best scene. And then, of course, in the end, he's like ringing up his wife saying, get rid of the silver shamrock mask with the kids and everything. And then she thinks that he's drunk or something. He's like, I'm not drinking, just get. And so that was that scene. And then at the end, the last scene, okay, so the androids are dead and he gets back to the service station, which we saw right at the beginning of the film. And he says, I've got to use your phone. It's a matter of life and death. And he actually gets hold of the TV studios that are actually broadcasting the adverts. And there's 3 channels that are showing the adverts. And the first 2, they actually stopped playing the adverts, even
Oh, come on.
which I thought was a bit crazy.
Yeah, we've got another on other end of phone.
Let's turn off the advert, even though this is what's probably going to make all the money for us this whole year because it's such a publicised thing. And the third advert, he says, "All right, it's starting now. Stop it now. Stop it now. It's no more time. Stop it." And he goes, "Stop it. Stop it. Stop it." And then that's the end of it. And that was the end. And we don't know whether the last advert got out and all the kids were killed. And that's the beginning of this new season of witchcraft. And that was it. And I loved it. I don't know what it was. It's funny. Certain films which are really bad, you can really like. And I do think that if you'd have seen this 20 years ago, you might be a bit more, you know, you're watching it.
I think you're right. I think certain films, like I've watched films like 25 years ago and I've watched them again. And you think, my God, that was terrible.
But when you
back
watched
in the
it,
day,
it was quite
brilliant.
cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that, yeah.
So, like I said, it's nearly 40 years old. So that's a long time.
I mean, it has I have to take it like down. Could it have been a classic? There is potential in there.
I reckon at some point,
There is potential, and I could see how they could get a sequel off quite easily.
at some point in your life, give it another watch and see what you think
No.
of it. What about if we do it next year? We could do it part 2. We could Halloween 3 a year later in episode 105 or something next year. No, I'm joking.
goodness.
No, I don't think we can do it. Well, I think next year, if it was, we should.
No, I mean, it has, I mean, look, you've got the old man from RoboCop, and he's fantastic. He's also the alien in the last.
I know
Starfighter
he is. I
as
knew
well,
about to
yeah.
say that. I know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic actor. And
Yeah, he's
he
a good
plays
actor.
a horror character beautifully.
And the lead star, I can't remember his name. He was also in The Fog.
Yes,
He was in The Fog as well.
But he's such an amazing actor. He's always good at them dark characters.
Yeah,
isn't
but I actually think that's part of the strength of the film was his dark character
yeah, but
because he was running things in the background.
The other thing is the music.
Music's
the music,
fantastic.
Very John Carpenter.
Love
You
the
get
job.
that
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
John Carpenter thing
Like
straight
The
away.
Fog or the thing. It's very, very there. I love it. I love John Carpenter's music. I just think it's a classic. It's not just pure horror. It's got some sci-fi, a bit of a off the kilter sci-fi elements like androids and things like that. But masks with tags which can kill you. But I just like it. I just think it's a classic film. I love the adverts.
Well, that's cool. You're probably the only
I really
person
do. I love the.
that does think that,
Well,
but I
maybe.
mean,
I mean, I even spent about God knows how time doing the Silver Shamrock advert. at the beginning of this podcast, you'll see the Silver Shamrock sort of like logo coming on, which I sent you earlier this week.
God.
I loved it. I love the cheesy.
It
And my
had
two,
potential. I could see a sequel to it quite
my
easily.
two, they obviously didn't watch it when they were younger, but they always, every year towards Halloween, the last week, they keep saying, 6 more days to Halloween, 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 6 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock, dum 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 dum. It's great music. Yeah, at the end, I've done a special mix. There's a Silver Shamrock song at the end of this, which also has a bit of mixing in from me from this last scene of the film, which I've done, so you can enjoy that as well. And to me, that's it. It is my favourite Halloween film of all time. If ever I think of Halloween, it's like at Christmas, I always think of Trading Places as a film I always like to watch at Christmas.
Definitely Trading Places.
And Halloween, I'm sorry to say, it's not Halloween 1, although Halloween 1's quite good. It is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Did you see the one I watched with my family years ago? We rented it out, where they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back after 20 years. It was like HS.
Oh, isn't it Halloween 3? No, not Halloween. Halloween 2018.
No, Halloween
2018 or something.
Yeah, that's it.
I've heard of it. I've not seen it yet. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Was it good? Was it worth watching?
No, not the one they released. She came back. They released it. I think it was in late 90s. They brought it back.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was H20, H2O or something like that.
Oh, that's. I've vaguely heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I watched it. That was very good, actually. It was good, but it's. I don't know. I'm not really into slasher movies.
That's
really.
what you said. I mean, that's why I thought this was slightly different, because it isn't just a pure slasher movie.
Well, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I know where they were trying to go with it, like the ancient technology and witchcraft and androids. I love the secret installation under the town as well.
Yeah.
But again, it reminded me of the World's End for Simon Pegg.
Yeah, I can see that. No, I can see that, definitely. It was kind of like
it does make you wonder if he's watched that.
I don't know.
There is a lot of similarities, isn't there? With the
I think
androids.
there's a lot of stuff in this film which is like I said, that people have taken elements of it and they've actually sort of put it into their own respective movies. But I can see the World's End with the sort of the artificial. They're aliens and that, but they're also they're sort of, and even like body snatchers or something like that. You can sort of see scenes where something's going on which you're not quite aware. And in that one, it was of course these androids with the business suits on, who never said anything. And then of course you've got Cochrane in this factory making these masks. And it was I just thought it was a cool film. I'm really glad you saw it though. Thank you for that. The next one you've got to see is the Mist. Now you've got to see the Mist. So I think you'll like Mist though. I think the Mist is different. I've got a really bad cough tonight. I can't stop coughing. I do apologise, everybody. Just have to bear with me. Well, thank you for that. So let's finish off with your rating out of 10. So what would you give it out of 10? And you can be as honest as you like, because I'm not
going to give it a bad one. I'll give it a 4.
4 out of 10. Okay.
I'm not. I think 4.5. Right.
I'll give it.
Only because the two factors: the music. 3 factors: the music, him, the old man, and there is potential in there.
But didn't you?
There is something in that film. I don't know what it is.
I could
see where they could pull a sequel with it quite easily.
So you didn't think the end scene with the TV when it was actually...
No, that was terrible. That was stupid, that one.
Well, I thought it was... Actually, we were talking today, and we were saying that what if it had been made now, what would they do differently? Do you know what they would do? Because one thing which is a bad factor is the fact that the two networks turn the advert off because of the phone call. If it was done now, it would be done on a YouTube live stream.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
And then you'd say, like, if you've got to watch it at 9 o'clock, it's a live stream. And if you wait for 2 minutes after the flashing pumpkin, the first 50 people who type this code, which we're going to show, into this website, get a free car each or something. You know what I mean? It'd be the first 50 hits.
Yeah,
and it would work better now.
I think it'd have worked better today.
It would work better today in the way of nature that TV is.
The technology's there because they'd have had a global audience as well.
Although you would probably have less though, because YouTube obviously doesn't really have a big global audience, and there's so many more people, so many things for people to watch now. So it would affect less people But I think I don't know.
I think
I don't know.
in fact more than 3 television stations where they were advertising.
Yeah, but I don't know how many stations were in America in the 80s. Whether it was like they had
Hundreds.
NBC. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously they had NBC, they had CBS.
Yeah, but they have local as well.
Yeah, but that's what I was wondering, whether it was a local. But on the film, it said that you saw scenes where all over America, kids are getting the masks. It says like Philadelphia and then in Los Angeles, and you have different scenes.
How are the masks going to work when the control centre got destroyed?
Well, I assumed that the actual advert was pre-taped and it was just in the relevant studios being played.
Yeah, but the power had to come from that big stone, didn't it?
No, no, I just know.
I'm just coming out with time, only coming out what I observed.
I assume no,
the mask won't work. It
no,
won't work.
No, it doesn't. No, I don't agree. No, each tiny,
Just that having it.
each mask. No, the only reason that the big stone was glowing is because the music was playing, and so it was just all the power was being used at once in that one respective stone.
Yeah, but all the power backfired and caused the spiral and cascade that destroyed the entire town and the factory.
But
so
all
the mass wouldn't have worked because they were transforming the power.
But the particle, no, the particle in the mask was not required for the main stone. Each particle was its own unique ident. It was separate.
Oh, come on. They were using the big stone as a job.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And also, what about Stonehenge itself? The other stones are still there.
And how did the nickel stone?
Well,
from
and Cochrane said, Cochrane's line was, "You had no idea how we got it here," and he laughed.
Like the park warden at Stonehenge is going to go.
Well, maybe they drugged them or something, and they just put in a pretend rock. They drugged whoever was watching Stonehenge. They got a rock which looked like Stonehenge rock. They plonked it on. Yeah, 3D printed. And then they plonked it where the old stone was. They put it on a lorry, and then they shipped it over to America.
By the gods of science.
I'm going to give it 8. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I loved it.
Oh God.
No, I am not. Yeah, 9.5 out of 10. I loved it.
Well, all right then. Right, that's fair enough. Then that's point to you this week then.
No, that's fine. Well, listen,
I will find something for you. Actually, did you know there's a sequel to Star Crash?
Oh, don't. No, don't.
Yeah, I bought Star Crash.
No, I can't watch Star Crash, dude. Star Crash, you've got a Blu-ray Star Crash, you told me.
Yeah, I bought it. I came I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, God. Is it high def? It's obviously high def.
Yeah,
come on.
I'm not saying
okay. All right, question. What's better, Star Crash or Halloween 3?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, come on. You telling me Star Crash is better than Halloween 3? Oh, my God. This could be the last podcast, Bloody hell. In the end, no, you saw Star Crash. I only saw Star Crash for the first time recently myself, and I thought it was a pile of pants.
It's got a massive following, the Star Crash.
Well, I'm sure there's a following of Halloween 3 somewhere.
It's quite an interesting backstory to it, Star Crash, as well.
Oh, and the Halloween 3 mask, they ended up on an episode of The A-Team.
To what?
So, The A-Team, they used some of the Halloween 3 mask, and it was in an episode of The A-Team. I remember seeing
How do you know that?
Because I looked it up and saw it, because I'm a big fan of this film.
Oh, right. Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough, right? Yeah, you get a point this week.
Well, that's fine, but
I'm sorry, Star Crash can blow that out of the water.
What, with David Hasselhoff and I didn't get that. I didn't like that at all. I mean, I'm glad I saw it.
I'm gonna. Well, apparently there's a sequel to Star Crash called Star Crash 2, and it's terrible.
Well, I mean,
it's even cheaper than the original.
Well, at some point, not yet, but I will give for the podcast. I'll give Star Crash 1 another review, and we'll do a review of Star Crash. But
do you remember back in the 80s when they used to have they used to go in the video library?
Yeah, Blockbusters, or whatever. Yeah.
And we used to have big chain here. It's called Ritz's.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that.
First there were Barkers, then there were Ritz's, and became Blockbusters. And I remember going in there. They used to have all these like barbarian, like cheap, nasty foreign science fiction made for video films.
Right.
A lot of them are on YouTube now. There's one I've been planning to watch, which I've done. Atlantis Interceptors. I might challenge you to watch that. If I can find it on YouTube, I might.
Yeah, well, I don't mind delving into cheesy stuff
It's
as well.
bad.
Yeah,
It is absolutely terrible. It's like Mad Max and Atlantis in Florida.
yeah. I mean, the worst things I've seen recently. I saw that. Remember that film we talked about with the? It's like a very bad Terminator spin-off version of Terminator.
Oh God! Do you know my mate listens to podcast? He's a big fan of that film.
What was it called again? That film?
I don't even want to remember what it's called.
It was terrible.
Oh God! Bloody the one with the android.
Yeah,
The
it was
cyborg.
terrible. Yeah, it was awful.
He saw that at the cinema.
It was made in 1990. And it was supposed to look American, but it was made in Britain. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was in SFX magazine. That
shite.
It was one of the first
It was shite. It was
finance.
terrible.
One of the first films where they raised the money to actually make it.
Oh God!
And it's
Why did they
bloody
bother?
awful.
Why did they bother? That's terrible. Anyway, I think it's great. I really do like the fact that we don't just like blindly love everything the same. That's what I think that makes the show good.
No, it's I may take another look at Halloween 3. I may do.
Yeah, keep it back in because honestly, like I said, I really thank you for giving it a go. And,
Well, I'm never going to get that 1 hour.
well, I know, and
minutes back,
and
am I?
I'm not going to get my hour and a half back from Star Crash either. So it gets even. Right, are we done with this one? I think we are, aren't we?
Yes.
All right. Now, have we got a cancelled Nay? It's here to stay.
Yes, we have. Yes.
Have we? What have we got?
Season 2, 1977. Logan's Run, the TV series.
Oh, okay. Let's hit the jingle, and I'll just listen away, and you tell me what you got. Here we go.
Cancelled?
I
Nay.
can hear lots of static.
It's here to stay.
Yeah, can you put the actual theme music of the TV series into it?
It's playing now after the jingle, and then we'll do. So then
I
it's
can hear it
playing.
in my head.
Yeah, that's it, and it's fading out into the usual song. But yeah,
Have you seen the TV series?
I've seen the first 2 episodes. I've not seen it all.
It's brilliant concept.
I know that the guy in it is a guy in it who was actually in the thing. He was actually the actor who was in the thing. He played the he played the guy with the gun who shot the Norwegian guy in the beginning. Go on,
Yes.
go on.
Well, Logan and Jessica have come bit of the legend at City of Domes. More people starting to uprise now against the order,
Right.
against the computer, because the city is run by old people in the dome, which nobody thinks about.
Go on. Yep.
Oh, and Francis has been offered a seat on the. It's in K Quadrant. It's like nobody's allowed there, but it's where old people live there. And they run the city, the machinery, and all that.
Right.
And so they serve the computer, and they're civilized classed as the death culture because everybody dies at 30. And when Francis finds out and he meets the council, he says, so the council says to him, he said, "Where do you think it all comes from? Your clothes and your food and all the pleasure. It comes from us because we're working in the background to keep it. But the system is 1 for 1,
Right.
and we offer you a place on the council." So that's where, I love that twist on Logan's Run, the hypocrisy of that
Right.
with older people. So anyway, the runners, they're becoming more, how do you say, defiant now,
Yeah.
because Logan and Jessica returned to the city in one episode, and some of them met Rem, and word's got out now that you can live outside.
So it's going to make sort of more uneasy.
It's slowly started. Well, anyway, it's been over a year since Logan and Jessica in their Solomobile are still looking for sanctuary, and they're driving along and they meet different civilizations, all these upside down screwed up things after the Holocaust and that.
Right.
And Francis is in pursuit, and Sandman says to Francis, he says, "Look, we've been outside the city a year now trying to hunt Logan down." He said, "Well, we've met other people in other places, none of them have to die at 30. So that worried him. And Francis terminated the Sandman that questioned that. So what they do now is the Sandmen that come outside the city dome, they're all programmed to go back. They're not, so they don't start thinking
Yeah.
except Francis. And they're pursuing him across some valley, and Logan's in the car with Rem and Jessica, and they're driving along, and they're coming to this this beam stops the car, and they meet a race of people that live on an airship.
Oh,
It's just like a big airship. It don't move. It just
sits there.
like an air city. It's just there. But it's powered by this big airship, and they get beamed up to it. And they have an adventure up there. And Francis turns up with 2 sandmen, and they go up, and he demands that they've got to return to the City of Domes. But what's happened now? Logan's turned 30.
He's actually now 30, right? Okay, yeah.
Even though he's been outside a year. And there's a shootout, and what happens is Francis gets these people in the city. They've got a nuclear weapon, and they're going to start a war with this other civilization that's a bit all messed up. And Logan stops it because it's all pre-atomic 21st century weapons, and Logan stops it. And him and Francis have to team up to stop it.
Right.
Because it'll destroy the world. So they destroy this civilization. And in the wreckage, Logan says Francis's life, because they used to be partners, and Jessica's going, leave him to die. He's going, no. We have to be better than them, Jessica. And Francis going, why did you save me? He said, because I'm free. I don't want to live in a city where I'm watching my own people get killed. And Francis lets out that he's run by old people, and that changes everything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That changes everything. So they split up, and they go off, and Rem and Logan's thinking about it. Rem's bringing up the logic that at some point you're going to have to go back and stop this and expose this council of older people that are doing behind it all.
Right.
And they're riding along. Francis has given, he saved his life, given him a 24-hour start. More Sandmen have turned up, and they're going along, and they end up going through this weird warp type road with all these colour, that 1970s cheesy special effects.
Yes.
And they end up in this place, and it's full of people dressed in red and green and all this other stuff. And Logan's going, where are we? And this woman says, welcome to Sanctuary.
Oh.
And that's it till next week.
Oh, great. So how many parts is this one going to be?
5.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I think that's great. That's brilliant. Okay.
I could shorten it, but I just
actually, what we could do.
Logan goes back. I
think it's really good. And then actually in the future, at some point, if it's a really long one, we could do a special sort of podcast of your stories. I think that's really good. I mean,
that's the opening sort of thing. That's the start.
That's the sort of the starter.
They've found Sanctuary now after a year.
So what do you think? Do you spend quite a lot of time thinking this up, or how do you?
I watch Halloween 3 constantly on the loop. It just gives me inspiration.
Maybe you're daydreaming while this is on today, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah, I've got it on right now in the background. I just leave it constantly 24 hours a day."
Oh well, I mean the thing is though, if you're doing that, then really what you've got to have is you've got to have the music, haven't you? I mean, that's
yes.
The thing. And I'm trying to sort of get the music playing in the background, but my computer's frozen. It would be funny to get your reaction, but I can't do it. Anyway,
by the gods of science fiction.
By the gods. Well, by something, by Stonehenge's, I think. I don't know. Stonehenge. Thank you. Yeah, okay, that's great. So that's part 1. We'll look forward to, like I said, I'm being serious here, because I mean the film is the version I know very well, which we'll have to review, and it was such an awesome film, but it was left open at the end. Well, at the end,
there was a planned sequel, but they never went.
Oh, did they?
So.
They were going to do a film sequel. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
well, the book is totally different to the film. The film is actually superior to the book.
Well, the TV series actually followed quite a lot of elements from the film, especially when it.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it looked like it was very much the same.
The TV series is very good.
I'm going to watch it. I am going to watch it all. I mean, like I said, I've seen the first few. And again, it's one of these series which is sort of cut in its prime just when it's going to get going, which is annoying.
But I love the twist where there's a dome and it's full of old people running.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember that.
Society.
Because in the film we didn't see the old people, and it was
well,
just.
they don't exist. It's a computer, isn't it?
That's right. You're right. It was the computer, and it was.
In the book, they all die at 21.
21. Oh my god.
Yeah, you go to sleep shops. It's a totally different thing.
I love the idea of kind of you've only got a limited time, and that's it. That's 30. It's very creepy. But I don't know how the film did, whether it made a lot of money, because the film is a classic.
It was a massive hit globally, yeah.
So why did the sequel get made?
I don't know. I don't know. There was a planned sequel. William F. Nolan that wrote Logan's Run. I don't think he was totally happy with the film. But the directors and the people that had the screenplay altered it. Said they couldn't make it any sense.
All right, I tell you what.
People die at 21.
Next week, let's review Logan's Run, the film.
I thought it was Moonraker.
Oh no, sorry, you're right. I apologise. No, all right, Moonraker next week because that was what you asked for. The week after, you're right. I apologise. We'll do Logan's Run. That's right. That's
yes.
Right. Sorry.
And I think we need Sci-Fi now, and I think Moonraker's sort of...
Moonraker's great. Moonraker is...
I watched it a couple of days ago, Moonraker.
I love Moonraker. I love the scene where he's in the thing that spins him round and he gets faster and faster and faster, and you get the Chinese guy, and he kept turning the dial, and it's getting faster and faster, and I love it. And Jaws is great in it. It's got... we'll talk about it next week. But
yeah,
I love
I like the scene where he kills Drax at end and walks him out of the airlock.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, it's a really good film. It's one of the only James Bond films. It is the only James Bond film we could feature in this podcast, really, but given the nature of what it is. But yeah, it's cool. All right,
would you class Spy Who Loved Me as science fiction?
Spy Who Loved Me.
The one with the underwater city.
It's Moonraker, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
As you say, it's not an underwater city, but that could be done. No, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just not quite in it.
Yeah, it's just
borderline.
Not perfectly in it.
Moonraker definitely, but no. I can see what you're saying with the underwater city.
Yeah.
But I mean, what about the one? There's a recent one where you have James Bond has a car and it turns invisible. It's like a sort of cloaking device and stuff. So that's gadgets, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that was a gadget. But yeah, no, Moonraker, yeah.
And the death ray from outer space as well.
Oh yes. What about the one?
It could be. I mean, there could be.
What about the one with the ship that opens up and then it swallows up other ships?
Oh,
in
that's
space?
it. That makes sense. And the volcano.
Yeah, that's a bit science fiction.
Yeah, that definitely. Yeah. So, you only live twice.
I love that. I do like James Bond. I mean, who's your favourite James Bond? Just
Roger Moore.
Okay, we agree on that. Roger Moore's my favourite too. I like his humour. I love his films. I thought View to a Kill was great as well.
Yes.
I love they're cool films. All right, Martin, Moonraker next week. I'll have to work on my graphic for that this week. That's fine. Thank you very much again for reviewing Halloween 3 for me. I really do appreciate your perspective.
Yes, 1 hour 38 minutes.
Well, that's your dedication to the podcast.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is that you're burning off an hour and 20 minutes of your life every week to talk to us. So I guess I'm in your debt. How much do I owe you? What do I owe you?
You know what I mean? Anything, I will find something hideously awful for you to sit through for 1 hour and 38 minutes. Give me time and I will find it.
Well, like I said, we got Star Crash, and so okay, fair enough.
There is a sequel.
Oh, God. Right, we're going to finish off with Happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock song. This was half done online. This was also half done by me, mixed in at the end. And thank you again, Marty, for reviewing this with me. We'll catch you next week for Moonraker on the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. See you later.
Live long and prosper.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time. Come on, please.
please. Take off the third channel. The third channel, it's still running. Stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to... Please, stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.